You can have a job, you can get educated, you can do all of the right things that we're told to do to achieve the American dream. But in this country, as a Black person, none of that will protect you. There's absolutely nothing that can protect me, anyone in my family, anyone that looks like me.
A year ago, we watched George Floyd die on camera. It's by no means the first time we've seen a Black man killed by police in America, but his death was an inflection point. During Derek Chauvin's murder trial, we watched George Floyd's last breaths over and over again. In that same month, Daunte, Wright, and Bryant died on camera. It was an exhausting reminder that the outcome of that trial didn't make it any safer to be Black in America. Living with that reality on a daily basis isn't just emotionally exhausting, it's also physically harmful. In this episode, we're gonna tackle racial trauma, what it means, what it does, and how to cope with it as a Black person. I'm Nicole Ellis, and this is The New Normal.
Racialized trauma is a form of stress, and the constant stress that one holds in the body does take a toll.
We live in a society where Black death is common, and you can trace it back to when lynchings occurred.
Knowing that Black communities have been facing oppression and violence for hundreds of years, and how that's upheld by white supremacist systems, institutions, all of that is not only weary for the soul, but is also really demanding. It demands additional labor.
But how does racial trauma reveal itself in our lives? What does it actually look like?
Racial trauma shows up as anger, anxiety, paranoia, helplessness, hopelessness. The stress hormone is cortisol. Cortisol is related to diabetes, obesity, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, all diseases that Black and brown bodies are more likely to experience.
Hearing that can be stressful. And so I'm wondering, is it possible to overcome that kind of trauma, or how do you change that for yourself?
So the first thing that Black people can do is to create boundaries about what they watch on an ongoing daily basis.
In a time when a person is feeling exhausted and traumatized, I invite us to give ourselves permission to turn it off.
5-7-9, inhale for 5 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and exhale for 9 seconds. Over time, it helps to decrease the amount of cortisol in the body.
One way that we can tend to ourselves is actually paying attention to our senses. Sometimes when we're just needing to soothe, rubbing our hands together, rocking, swaying, having a fleecy blanket. And my favorite way is actually cuddling a furry animal, which, gives me the touch, and then also some of the smell too. Our people have always known how to take care of one another. Our people have always known how to heal. How did our people or your people connect with the land and find healing in their relationship with land? Maybe through growing food, maybe through spending time near water.
But what if you don't have that kind of context just readily available to you? Like, what if you don't know where your people came from?
Connecting with ancestral wisdom may feel far-fetched, especially for people whose history has been erased. That connection may be someone that we might be related to. It may also be someone in the community that have, been a source of wisdom.
What I do in my research is giving people skills to create Black joy. Maybe for one person, it could be dancing, getting adequate sleep, adequate rest. Joy may also look like taking a long walk with your family.
In situations where the entire country is reeling from watching somebody die on camera, it can be really hard to do that kind of thing without feeling guilty. How do you navigate that?
I know I felt that way. I've gone on vacation and you feel guilty because you feel like you need to do more. But I also think about all of those ancestors I had, or all those people whose shoulders I stand upon who were not able to take a vacation. It's a way of honoring them.
the essence of solidarity is that we are able to co-lean on one another. When my community is hurting, I can lean on yours. When your community is hurting, please lean on mine. And so that offers us an opportunity to rest.
Does it eliminate the threat? No. But what it does, it gives us a tool to counter the ongoing trauma that we may have in our lives.
We're going to continue to cover topics like this, so stay tuned. For more stories like this one, find us on thelily.com and washingtonpost.com.